You're listening to SM Media.
From here all the world is a raging fire. I know you can see when I see they'll have their way, everyone breaking down. If we turn and we flee, all I know is I'd rather die than believe a lie. I cannot follow the blind.
Welcome, folks, to our latest episode of the SM Media Pro Wrestling Show. It's been a while, we've had a lot to go going on in the past few weeks, but we are back. We're going to take a bumper look at everything that's been happening over the past few weeks. There has been a lot, and it's always a pleasure to be joined by Scott Young. Scott, welcome back, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on as always, and we've got a lot to get through.
Yeah, definitely. We've got three big shows. Obviously, the stadium show. We've got a bit of news as well. Some weird news that came out just yesterday as well. So I looking forward to this. There's a lot to get into.
Will we start with news or we start with reviews? What do you think?
I think the news is probably the best to start with.
Where do you start? I mean, you've got Nikki Bella, Odyssey Jones, Damian Priest not being in Black Panther, Hulk Hogan again just talking out his backside. There's a lot, and again, it's just like let's start with the kind of negative side. Obviously, the Nikki Bella stuff isn't ideal. Again, we don't know what's went on. I've kind of got to the stage now where there's only certain people in the wrestling media I can really hang my hat on in terms of news. Meltzer's not one of them, as we'll get into later on. Odyssey Jones is very similar as well. It's not ideal. Again, we don't know the facts and details, but very different side of it. Obviously, the Nikki Bella situation, I think more of a mainstream look is on that because she's quite a big star and
And he was on Dancing with the Stars
he was
as well.
on Dancing with the Stars as well. And Odyssey Jones, kind of the perfect way to summarise him is that it's probably he's kind of velveteen dreamed himself, if it's led to be believed. That's the first thing that came into my head. That's
the Nikki Bella one. There's a lot of moving parts to this one. You've had the fact that he made the 999 call,
mm-hmm.
and then he cancelled the 999 call, and the police turned up at the door anyway.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything really since the arrest, really. So obviously it's ongoing investigation. And the Odyssey Jones one, like, yeah, Velveteen Jr. is a good example. Also, Enzo Amore, I thought of as well, because he got sacked. This was what, 2019, 2018? Not because of the allegation, because he never told them about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Odyssey Jones might sort of be a similar thing.
When you're
But
fired,
yeah,
when you're fired and not
sucked.
suspended, that's the first kind of.
And also, he wasn't even put on the alumni page. He was just removed. The only people that I can think of that have just had the profile removed and not alumni, Chris Benoit and Vince McMahon. So there must be something else. There must be something more to this than obviously it'll probably be months and months before we find out. There'll probably be investigation, arrests, whatever else. So there's a lot. I think there will be a lot more coming out of these two, definitely.
It's obviously difficult, as you say, because we don't know, like as you say, it's difficult what can you talk about, what can you talk about. Both are probably something we can touch on very briefly. What else? Obviously, there's a lot kind of going on. There's a Vince documentary coming out on Netflix that we are going to review. We're going to do a weekly review on that. This has been in the pipeline for a while. Now, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if it was Netflix, but there was definitely something in the pipeline. There was going to be an animated series of the steroid trial. I don't know if you ever saw the reports on that. That kind of got kibosh. But the fact that it's Bill Simmons that's involved in this, who obviously did that wonderful Andre documentary, which I think was WWE involved, makes me think this is. My worry is that is it going to be, let's just ignore what's come out the past couple of years and let's take away all of that and focus on the Vince McMahon who built what we know now.
Yeah.
that's not going to that's not going to work. What if that? I don't know if it's a WWE project. I've not read too much into it to see if it is or not, but it doesn't matter what's going to come out in this documentary. There is a lot of stuff coming out about Vince, more and more. With each passing day, really. There's no documentary that's going to paint him in any light is going to change anything.
No, me and my brother had spoke of this when it first got announced. It's like the thing I look at is that when they announced this document was gonna happen in 2020, end of 2021, 2022, and then he retired, then he unretired, and everything else came out. So it looked like they canned it. It looked like they just completely scrapped it, and then sort of out of the blue, about a week ago, they said we're doing this documentary. And I thought, because the original thing was it was a WWE and Vince produced thing, and then I read the sort of blurb, the sort of press release type thing about it, and it did say we will cover all sexual allegations.
Well, the one thing is Cody. I didn't see this. Cody has said, I don't know where he said it, but he said that WWE had no involvement in it. I find that hard. Was it the presser?
It was the Bash presser, yeah.
I find that hard to believe though because Bill Simmons is involved. Yeah. Who is, as I say, he did the Andre doc. He's done other things for WWE as well. I think he was part of the XFL 30 for 30. I'm sure he's interviewed in that. But if WWE have no involvement in it, then it's going to be an honest documentary. And this is the thing where I've been screaming for an honest, non-WWE produced Vince documentary because see if you watch, and some of them are brilliant, but see if you watch like WWE documentaries, even like the A&E ones, which are, some of them are brilliant, but they're very WWE folk. They don't really take into account the actual stuff that went on. There's a lot of stuff missing. Like, I am hoping we see. There was one in Vice. I think it's called The 9 Lives of Vince McMahon, and like Alvarez is in it and things like that. And they're obviously just want to do hit pieces on him. Like I get it, but that was probably as close as we got to a proper in-depth look at Vince without the other stuff. And if this is going to have that other stuff, then this has got the potential to be quite damaging for WWE because it's going to take into some accounts we don't know, and WWE don't have any control over it if that's the case.
Well, the thing I look at, Janelle Grant, which obviously, if you don't know, the woman involved in the Vince lawsuit, she came out and said she wasn't interviewed for it.
Yeah.
And I did see a bit of a negative reaction. I don't think you really can interview her.
She can.
It's an ongoing legal case.
Yeah.
You can't. I think for the sake of if this stock was 5-10 years down the line, then you probably could interview her. But right now, while the case is ongoing, you can't legally interview her. I did say about negative reaction. Oh, why do you not interview her? Blah blah blah. But I don't think you can.
No,
really.
It's like there's obviously the kind of one that comes to mind as well was the Michael Jackson one. I think it's Leaving Neverland. It's called, and it's got two people who are accusing him, and that's what the kind of symbol of the documentary is. If this was a Janelle Grant or whoever it may be, like this is what's happened to me. This is the fundamental of the documentary. It doesn't seem that. The fact it's called Mr. McMahon again worried me because I'm like they're going to look at they're not really going to paint the whole picture. But if Cody's saying that, if you're kind of saying there's stuff that WWE aren't involved, I just hope it's a real proper piece. And Vince is going to come out. Vince is done at this point. Like, be honest, doesn't matter what comes out. He's gone. Just leave him. Just, you know what I mean? This was the thought I had as well, though. Like, what happens when the inevitable day comes? Because like there's a thing came out. I think it was Meltzer that said it. He said that he's persona non grata. You can't mention his name and things like that. He is basically Benoit. That day's going to come though, where like how do you handle that?
Last week, if Vince died tomorrow, what did WWE do? Do they acknowledge it? Because it was I know it's a small thing, but it was his birthday not that long ago, and they didn't put a tweet out.
No, they can't.
And normally, someone did, and they get a lot of abuse for it and deleted it. Like one of these wrestling news kids, whatever. So that kind of stuck out to me as the first sort of big Vince isn't here, is the fact that they didn't tweet him happy birthday. I know it's a small thing, but normally they do it for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if Vince died tomorrow, I reckon I don't know how they would do it, because they probably wouldn't do a 10-bell salute.
No.
They might do a graphic at the start, but even that, it's a strange one.
Well, a good example is like somebody like even Sid, who, I mean, I'm quite surprised that Sid's never been in the Hall of Fame, but there's obviously a reason for that. He got, not that I'm saying he's in, like, obviously the famous incident with him and Arn Anderson is probably the reason that he maybe wasn't as involved with WWE like later on. Like, I don't think he was well received, but they gave him the graphic. They've given a lot of people who have been quite unpopular in the locker room.
Yeah.
So look, they did it with Savage, to be fair.
No.
Like,
Well, they just brought back JC Ventura. Obviously,
that's
like
interesting.
yesterday.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But him
as
and
well.
Vince obviously didn't get on, is putting it lightly. But they recently brought him back. Even Punk, people who Vince didn't get on with, they've started bringing back. So they are really trying to sort of push any of his ideas out of the company.
Yeah.
And getting rid of Kevin Dunn, Kevin Dunn quit technically at the start of the year. But he sort of the only sort of big main Vince guy that's still kicking about is Bruce.
Bruce, yeah. You don't really hear about him. Like, you don't really see him. Like, see them when they kind of do the gorilla clips. Like, you see the kind of entrances. You don't see. You see Regal. Regal has jumped out a few times, and I think maybe Road Dogg's jumped out. I've seen him maybe once or twice, but Pritchard's nowhere near it. But
no.
Speaking of Vince, though, and this just came out, obviously, there's a really good interview that's been out with Damien Priest on Chris Van Vliet. And Damien Priest said that he was cast as in Black Panther 2. Now, it wasn't anything to do with, it was a WWE decision apparently not for him to go ahead with that. What do you think of that? Because I'm trying to think when Black Panther 2 would have been released. It was a couple of years ago, because Chadwick Boseman died 2020. So it's probably a couple of years after that. So it would have been at least maybe filmed 2021.
Yeah.
Damien Priest is not... That's the kind of Bad Bunny WrestleMania stuff, isn't it? That's 2021. That's the
2022 the film came out.
So it must have been filmed before that. So it must have been filmed 2021. What is that all about? Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that not the time of the kind of zombie stuff with Damien Priest? Where,
yeah,
like, do you think that was punishment? Pardon the pun. Like, the more and more I think about it, it's like,
sucks for him, first of all.
That what an opportunity that, because like Batista, for example, Cena's another one. Cena was doing an interview with Shannon Sharp, and he said that the train wreck role was the kind of one that kind of pushed him into getting these kind of big Hollywood roles. Now, if you've seen Trainwreck, it's not that good of a film, but Cena's obviously impressed somebody. You've no idea how. That's when I was excited that Rollins was going to be in the new Captain America, because I was like, right, that could be an opportunity for him, because Rollins is quite a good character actor, like in WWE terms. Like, that could open up so many opportunities. So if that's been kiboshed from the top,
not just exposure, like he's probably lost a hefty paycheck as well.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know the kind of role he was in, but I'm assuming it was more than a cameo. So pulling his exposure, pulling his money that he would have got, it just hopefully that's another thing that we've kind of seen leave WWE the last 2-3 years. But it sucks for Priest. And speaking of things that suck, there's a podcast that was really released.
Yeah, do you want to take that up? Because, well, just before we go, he was going to be cast. It was going to be cast in the. Now that this is Cook. I believe it's Atuma and Namora. Now I don't know the actors that played in it, but they're certainly not as name worthy as Damien Priest.
No.
So again, it was one of the Talokin's henchmen, which again, it's not a massive role, but it's certainly enough. Like Roman's got a role coming up in a film that might open doors for him. Do you know what I mean? Like it can open doors for you. Like to do that, if it is, if you couldn't do this film because we've got a house show circuit to do. I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's kind of one of the reasons I'm quite glad now. Like I think there's only like 2 live events that WWE performers need to do in September, apart from
Something like that.
That's
The end of the month.
Imagine that. Vince is never doing that.
No.
Like it's a tour, like or you're doing a tour in Hawaii, Puerto Rico. It's just something ridiculous. But you mentioned there was a podcast. Now I haven't watched this whole podcast because, see, to be honest, I can't listen to Hulk Hogan. I just, it's like, do you know what it's like? It's like, see when you're a young schoolboy and you would listen to the people, like, do you remember when you were like first year at school and the 6th year would come and help you out with a class and he would just talk total nonsense about how, like, it's kind of where Hulk Hogan is for me. Like, I can't take anything he says seriously. Like, and I'm not even including the 400 days a year nonsense. I was going to be in was it the Rolling Stones and Metallica? I think he was going to be the bass player for.
Yeah.
Like,
No, the George Foreman's a person.
George Foreman grill, the one about
The
obviously
Hulk Hogan grill.
the sick kid in Wembley. I think's the worst because he's just made that up totally. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but he said something bizarre. That if let me just get the quote right. If Chris Benoit can be forgiven, I can be forgiven. Now, there's a big difference between being caught to be a total racist in a video that obviously was filmed without his consent and what Chris Benoit did. And the fact that Hogan's even thought that is there must be something mentally wrong with him. Now it must be, I kind of sent you a funny thing. It was like he's never really been dropped in his head, but there must be something up with him because, and I haven't listened to the whole podcast, and there'll be probably the inevitable 3 or 4 lies that come out. I discovered Kevin Owens 10 years after he was Kevin Steen, like just things like that. But he's just a blithering liar. And what does Logan Paul really care?
Logan Paul's got a knack of being finding podcasts guests, so he's the second biggest wanker in the room. It's mental. He had Donald Trump on last week. Or not, that was a few weeks ago.
I haven't seen that.
Nah, neither have I. I watched Takeover was quite good to be fair.
I haven't seen that
but
either.
The Chris Benoit one was really confusing because I read that. My first thought was, who the hell's forgiven Chris Benoit?
No, and exactly. But I did see a couple of tweets, and I really don't get this. I don't know about you, but I find it hard to watch and enjoy a Benoit match if I'm watching old stuff. Like,
Yeah, same.
I was quite young when WrestleMania 20 live is one of my favourite moments as a wrestling fan. That ending at the time was unbelievable. Now though, it's just so hard to watch. So, and that's how does he make that leap? How does it go? How does he compare? First of all, you're comparing yourself to a murderer.
Yeah,
which is the first thing. That's not a good start. You're also saying that you should be forgiven, despite the fact that you've been kind of forgiven because WWE let you back in and apparently signed a new 5-year deal, which again I'm hesitant to believe. Because when was the last time he was on WWE TV?
He was on the. Oh, it was really funny. It was before. Do you remember the trial of Sami Zayn? Raw.
Was that
30.
Raw 30? Yeah. Was that the last time he was on?
That was really funny.
probably
Him and Jimmy Hart came out,
Yeah.
forgot the lines, had tech issues,
That's
then
right,
left.
yeah.
It's great.
That's right. Yeah. Like I don't think Endeavour, WWE are really in a kind of rush to bring Hogan in.
No, it's the same with Flair. Like we've seen Flair leave AEW, And you'd think, obviously, Triple H being sort of the head at the moment of WWE, you'd think he'd be brought straight back in, but we've not heard anything of Flair.
Yeah.
So Hogan's kind of in that ilk of we don't. It's the same thing that folks say about Brock Lesnar. WWE don't need Brock Lesnar at the moment. They don't need Ric Flair. They don't need Hulk Hogan. Product's good. Product's
Yeah.
hot. Selling out arenas, stadiums. They don't need Hulk Hogan talking nonsense for 10
And
minutes.
that's the thing. Like, say for example, the one that kind of sticks out, like Austin. Like Austin obviously apparently turned down Mania. I don't think it was a case of it. I think it was a scheduling thing.
There's
But
money, from what I heard.
I'm not massively like. Do you know what I mean? Like, if yeah, you can see Austin occasionally, but I'm not like in a rush to like see Austin very often. Like the product, as you say, there is more of a focus on what's coming right now because the product's just a better to watch.
Yeah,
Like,
the Rock's a different one because obviously he enhanced that storyline.
yeah, yeah, the storyline is kind of built around him at the moment.
Yeah.
Cena's another one, but we're all excited for the Cena tour because it's going to be the last Cena tour. But it's not going to be, you're not going to see Cena just turn up whenever they need a ratings pop because they don't.
No,
It's doing well without that.
I think he said even if they asked him, he'd refuse to do it.
Yeah, yeah. We do have a lot to talk about though in terms of events. We obviously had All In, which, and again, you probably less than me. I really wanted AEW to really have a knock out of the park here, and I think they did. I will be honest and praise, despite a few things that we'll get into. I mostly thought All In was one of the best shows AEW have done. For the
Yeah.
one big reason for me is, and again, this is one that I'm not going to blame AEW for this because I know that there's a lot of chat now about AEW overruns. I watched it on DAZN, so I missed the ending of the Danielson Shanklin match because they cut it. They cut it exactly at 10 o'clock. It must have been 10 o'clock. Yeah,
It would have been 10, yeah.
yeah. They cut it at 10 o'clock, so I missed the ending of it.
I'm sure.
So that's something that probably AEW will maybe need to work out with their pay-per-view providers because I think that's the only event you get in DAZN with AEW. I think everything else is either on Triller or YouTube or
Yeah,
whatever it may
I
be.
watched it on Triller or Fight. Or
Yeah, Fight, whatever it's called. That was one thing. So it kind of took away from that a wee bit from me. But overall, production I thought was excellent. What did you think? And we won't go match to match, but I thought the event overall was excellent.
I love the aesthetic of it. Like obviously we're British football fans. Wembley Stadium is it's iconic when it comes to British football.
Yeah.
And it just I'm not the biggest Wembley fan when it comes to football. I think there are better stadiums in England than Wembley, for example. I think Spurs Stadium, for example, I think it's better than Wembley.
Mm.
But the aesthetic of it, it looked great. Like I don't like the LED advertising boards, the LED ring aprons. I think so. WWE do it when they go abroad, like we go Bash in Berlin, didn't have any LED ring aprons or boards, and it looked a lot better, looked cleaner.
Yeah.
And this was the same. As for the actual show, I can think of 2, maybe 3 slight missteps, but you've got a 12-match card, not everything's going to be perfect. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
The pre-show matches were all fairly fun. The mixed Stokely Hathaway is better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining. I really like Chris Statlander as a heel.
Yeah.
Like I think she's just went up a notch.
And obviously they did the big return. The highlight of the pre-show, which was Jamie Hayter.
Why
Which
is
I'm so happy
Saraya so insufferable? Like she genuinely is really hard to watch.
Yeah.
But it's horrible.
I don't know what I feel bad for her because it's her hometown and everything.
Yeah.
But like last year she came out to Queen and won the title.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it. And now she's there. But their contract's up soon.
I don't think WWE will touch her.
Or maybe as a backstage role. Maybe stick
Maybe.
her in NXT. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
maybe something like that. But she's, and again, obviously, like again, we'll get into obviously Danielson later on. But just the fact she's able to wrestle, I think, is a miracle. But
Yeah.
I mean, promo wise, I mean, she's genuinely you can turn the sound down because she's so it's just a pitched noise.
It's the voice doesn't help her, but I
Yeah,
mean, the Jamie, she's a good foil for someone like Jamie Hare.
yeah, she's good. That's a good thing for her, and I like the dynamic of kind of Jamie Hayter coming back and kind of working her way up because she can be another real part of this kind of women's division that is heating up, and I have to kind of sing its praises. First match of the night was the ladder match. Again, for an opener, I thought it was really good. I'm glad they opened with that. I thought they were going to open with something like, I thought they were going to maybe open with like Osprey MJF or something just to
That's
get
what I thought they were going with.
like something like
Because
that.
this is the first AEW pay-per-view he's been on that MJF hasn't opened or closed.
Yeah, but started well. Good pop, good opening. Like as you say, the kind of the right call, I think, in terms of kind of packing the BCC. And that does it maybe lead to something with Moxley as well? It's going to be interesting how that's going to work.
Yeah,
Storm and May.
but I don't know what the script is for Moxley. Everyone keeps saying Shane McMahon.
No, I don't think it's anything to do with Shane McMahon. I think it's
think
maybe. I think it's going to be something against the Elite. Personally,
Yeah, I could maybe see that. But
like Shane,
imagine Shane McMahon.
AEW do not need Shane McMahon.
No.
Like it's. What is he going to
Imagine,
come in and do?
let's say it is, if we talk, I don't think it is him, but let's say we're talking like it is Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon and Dean Ambrose versus the Young Bucks. Imagine saying that's going to happen in 2018.
Yeah,
And the most mental tag team match I've ever seen.
not in WWE.
Not in WWE. Aye, mental. I really hope. I really want Shane to come in. I don't know why.
See, the thing is, like, clearly, obviously, the WWE, I don't think they're really interested in Shane, to be honest.
No.
Like,
Apparently that's one of the reasons why they leaked that picture of Shane and Tony was because Shane wanted a way to get back into WWE,
yeah,
and he thought the meeting Tony would get that, but apparently WWE still don't care. He came in, tore his quad at Mania, and I know injuries shouldn't be funny, but that was really funny.
it was, yeah. It's bad. May Storm, now I've seen one person in particular say that the reason that this didn't work is because there was too much story. It wasn't enough focus in the in-ring stuff. I personally thought this was really, really good and as well done as it could be. Mariah May, she wasn't in AEW 12 months ago, am I right in saying? I don't think she was at all I don't think she was with the company
No, I
at that
don't
point.
think she was.
Because that was obviously before the timeless Tony Storm character, because that was a kind of build to it where she lost. I think she lost the title at Wembley. What she's been able to do, and in a way, she's excellent. Just an excellent story. Probably went as well as we can hope. I hope there's some difference in the Tony Storm character because it has come a bit stale. But Mariah, I think, is a real example of bringing somebody in, really booking her right, executing it at the right point, and then the ultimate payoff. She wins with Tony's move. Really, really well done, I thought. And I don't get this that it needs to be all in ring. I thought this was as well told as it could be. If this was the start, if this was the payoff at the start, I think it's been done well.
Yeah, this is apparently this storyline was all mapped out before Mariah signed.
Yeah.
Like Tony went to Mariah, we have this storyline to go X, go here, then here, then here, and it'll finish here. And that's just it's the prime example that long-term storytelling works. We've got a lot of it in WWE at the moment. Some of it's a bit tedious. Some of it's a bit just, can we just get to the point, please? Austin Theory and Grayson Waller's perfect example of get to the point.
Yeah.
But this is perfectly done, and I really enjoyed the match.
Do you think Tony gets the belt back in Australia?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, because she's doing
Like,
press
even
at that
things like
just now.
Mariah slapping on more.
Yeah, that was good. That was
was a great actor, by the way.
I love
Give it
Tony
that.
Storm's entrance. Did you see that? The old using the old Wembley, I thought that was brilliant. Like that was really well done. And
The Americans would have no idea what that was about.
nah, it was good though. I really liked it. But yeah, Mariah's like really well. She's going to be a good heel. I'm interested to see where it's going because I think you take Tony off TV for a bit, just build
Yeah.
towards it again. You don't need to have her straight back on. There's plenty that Mariah can work with. Maybe have her do something with like I don't know, who can you kind of maybe look
We've
at?
got Chris and Willow at All Out,
Yeah.
maybe the winner of that.
Maybe, yeah. You could do. Try to think what else. Sky Blue, Julia Hart would maybe have been a good option
Yeah,
for
maybe
that.
something
Just
like that.
bring somebody
We
like
get
that in.
Jamie.
Maybe not now, maybe not right now. I think Jamie Mercedes is your
Yeah, maybe.
big
Oh,
op- is a
apparently another thing that came out. Brett and Jamie. They were
let's just we'll get into that when we talk about Mercedes and Britt because I think Britt deserves a bit of a section herself because I think she is
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
I think she's the Todd Cantwell of professional wrestling. She's just toxic by all reports. But next
Well,
match,
that's
speaking
the
of
first
people
thing. That's the first time anyone's ever described a wrestler as Todd Cantwell.
speaking of people who are quite toxic for the industry, and it pains me to say this because Scott, you know me. I think you know me pretty well by now. I really like Chris Jericho in terms of what he's done. Some of the ability to change his character in the past. I always go back to early Jericho, kind of WWF, kind of 2000s, the Millennium Man, things like that. Brilliantly done. His heel run in 2008, I think, is one of the best characters in WWE in modern
Yeah,
time.
that was when I first started watching. That was him with the suit.
That was him with the suit. That was him. Him and
Speaking
Michaels.
lights off, speaking
Phenomenal
quietly.
rivalry. Yeah. And then he obviously kind of resurrects it again with a list and him and Kevin Owens, a Festival of Friendship. This Chris Jericho, though, is so hard to watch. There is a brilliant thing going about in social media. I don't know if you've seen it. There was a queue a mile long for the bathroom during this match.
I'm not. Didn't see that.
Well, I'll send you. I almost immediately noticed how dead the crowd were after the first two matches because, and no disrespect to Hook, but this version of Chris Jericho is a nightmare to watch, and it pains me to say it because I'm a big fan of his. I was. Even his early AEW stuff, the Le Champion, the Inner Circle stuff, I thought was good. When did it change? My thinking was it changed round about the Jericho Appreciation Society. That's when it became insufferable.
Yeah, I was thinking the Daniel Garcia, Brian Danielson stuff.
Yeah.
That went on too long, and
Yeah.
then every few since that, it kind of just went on.
But
You brought up a footballing reference, so Jamie Carragher once said about Casemiro, leave the football before the football leaves you. Jericho should leave the wrestling before the wrestling leaves him.
do you know what else I didn't get about this? And why did Hook work the match? If there was nothing wrong with his eye, why did he work it for 10 minutes with an eye patch on? Why not just
Yeah, that was.
that didn't make sense to me.
Maybe we're paying tribute to Tom Lawler, the best wrestler.
Yeah,
ever.
maybe, but obviously the right call giving Hook the title was the one kind of guarantee I thought with the night was that Hook was going to win. But if Chris Jericho's listening to this, if he's not been, what has he not been abducted by aliens and stuff as well? He's lost his mind. Like, and my worry is, do you think it is a case of? I'm not going to say the creative control card. Do you think that was one of the things when he came into AEW was you can do this for as long as you want, you can do whatever you want? Time's up for him. Just call it a day. And I'm not saying he can't play a part behind the scenes, but the gimmick is insufferable as well. The song, the one thing about last year, despite the fact Fozzy live sound terrible, I understood it because Judas was obviously it is very good. It is a very good, but
it's maybe their only good song.
Exactly, you've hit the nail on the head. That this current one that he's got, what is it? Nah, I can't.
AEW have got a knack of taking good themes and replacing them with crap ones, and we'll get on to another one in the next match. But yeah, this match.
I know where you're going here.
who-
I'm going to disagree with you. I know where you're going, but
Do you know where I'm going?
I think so. Jericho, where are you at with him though? But are you kind of the same as me? It's just time to go.
Yeah, it's just every time at AEW, I really like it at the moment. Dynamite week to week is good,
Yeah.
but every time he's on the screen, it just kind of goes down a level. And it's like there's an Undertaker quote. This is years ago, and it was, "I don't want to be the guy that when a father and son sat at a wrestling show, the father would go to the son and say, 'I remember him when he was good.'"
Yeah.
And it's quite ironic the Undertaker said that because that was him for the last few years, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
And Jericho's kind of like that. Like,
The thing with Taker was that he clearly wanted that perfect ending.
yeah,
And
it was just, yeah.
And
yeah,
you could
the
argue, you could argue, you
Styles
could
was the
argue, you
perfect
could
ending.
argue about how the Boneyard match was a perfect ending as well. We'll cover
Yeah.
it in the pandemic era show that's coming out next week. The thing is though, this isn't that this is, as you said, Casemiro is probably a good explanation, like a good example for people that don't follow football. You can see him struggling.
Yeah.
And you can see here, not for example, if you put him in the ring with Osprey, I think him and Osprey could still have a decent showing. Him and Okada maybe be something that will be astonished if they don't do that. I don't think they have done it yet.
Well, Jericho Osprey last year, all of them was pretty good from what I remember.
It was okay, yeah. I mean, it's compared to this, it was like Osprey Omega.
Aye.
Like, but it's just hard to watch. But triple threat tag team match, Young Bucks, FDR acclaimed. We knew the Young Bucks were winning. Please tell me you're not saying here that the Young Bucks theme is rubbish now. I really like it.
No, I do prefer the elite one of Carry On My
Right,
Wayward
okay.
Son.
Right, okay.
That's just
Right.
the one I prefer.
Because
I miss when him. Well, it was they two and Kenny came out to
Yeah.
that after all. Whether that's happened last year, after all out last 2 years ago actually.
it was 2 years
After
ago
the
today. Yeah,
suspension,
that's right.
after the suspension, yeah, and then hit them and Hangman came out to it for a bit, and I quite like that song.
Yeah.
They now don't have it because they're heels, and it's annoying. But I quite enjoyed this match. To be
Yeah.
fair.
It was fine. It was, yeah, it was.
Did you see Meltzer speaking about this?
No, I didn't.
He was speaking about it was actually quite funny. He was speaking about Max Caster calls himself the best. Max Caster's got this gimmick of calling himself the best in the world or best ever, whatever. And Meltzer went, there's 6 guys in this match and he's the 6th best. And he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. But the Acclaimed are kind of done, aren't they? Like,
Again, it was one of them. Like they were over a year ago. I never even like the crowd loved them. To Wembley crowd loved them there.
some of the lines,
But-
some of the lines are good that he comes up with. Like that, they are good.
I see when they were the peak of when they were over around about October last year.
Yeah.
No, before that, roughly last year anyway. When they were like peak of their overness, I never got it. I thought the scissor stuff was cringe and annoying.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn being old and beating up Jay White isn't
Yeah,
fun for anyone.
I think that was a bad point as well. Let's get into something that starts brilliantly and ends horrendous, and it was the Casino Gauntlet match, which I loved. Thought it was so good. There was so much in it. Nigel McGuinness, the pop, he must have known Oasis were coming back because he had. Do you know what I mean? It was just it was written in the stars.
It was
Loved
really
that.
confusing with him because obviously you heard his music
I
and
didn't
you
know
saw the crowd go.
I didn't know
No,
who
I
it
didn't know who it
was.
was either.
I didn't know who it was until
I was like, is it Ricochet? Because obviously they can see the telly. They can see the screen, we couldn't. We just saw we had the ring and just saw the crowd erupt.
Did Zack Sabre come out flat before him? Because I thought originally that's who it
No,
was.
I've got the entrance here. He was third out after Cassidy and Okada were the first two.
Yeah, that's right.
It was Cassidy, Okada, McGuinness, O'Reilly, Zack, Roddy, Mark Briscoe, Adam Page, Jeff Jarrett, Ricochet, then obviously Christian and Killswitch.
Yeah, let's not spoil it yet. But like, you'd nice stuff with Okada and Cassidy. Like, again, McGuinness can still go. Whether they're leading to maybe something with him and Danielson
Yeah, I think they are.
would be good.
But
But
there was very few people knew. Like
yeah,
the only people that knew were Tony, Nigel, And I don't even think a lot of folk in the match knew.
Yeah, like that. I thought this was brilliant. Ricochet debuting as well, done it perfectly. I thought from there he was winning. Well, as soon as he came out, I thought he was winning. I said Page originally, but I think they've done
I think
the
I
Page
said
stuff.
Ricochet.
I think you did say Ricochet. I think they did the Page stuff excellently. Like I really
main
like
event.
I really like the way that's going. But a couple of entrances really kind of caught my eye. First of all, I thought Jeff Jarrett came in was pretty good. Liked that. Just that was a nice wee nod. Then Christian came out, and I was sitting watching it live, and I said he's winning because do you remember when Osprey won the casino? Was it a casino gauntlet? Was it a casino royale?
I think it was a Gauntlet. I think
The
it was
original
this
plan was
style.
Christian to win. I said he's winning this. And then when they had that Luchasaurus thing, I was like, "What?" I'm saying this. If you do this, Tony, I'll come on the podcast and I will praise you to the hill if this is how you turn Luchasaurus back.
Because it
Because
came out as Luchasaurus.
it came out as Luchasaurus. The name on it is Luchasaurus. It's not Killswitch.
Yeah, it says Killswitch on Wikipedia.
Who
But
on earth? Who on earth has authorised that? I've just done a podcast on criticising board decisions. You know what I'm getting at here, right? Who has okayed that? Because the minute that it came out, you heard the pop. You were thinking, people were thinking the same as me. He's gonna cost him. This is gonna be Christian Luchasaurus. It's gonna be quite cool. And then what? Explain to me what the point of this was. Like,
I've got no idea. Like,
I genuinely think it might be the worst bit of booking this year. Like,
I
genuinely, I
don't
think it's
think
that bad.
yeah, well, to be fair, it's not. That isn't as lower praise as it would be 3-4 years ago. But yeah, it's not great. Like,
It's not Christian
see,
winning.
if you go to, I just
It's
read it.
not
Like,
Christian winning. That's what I'm going to say. It's not Christian winning because if the plan was for him to win the one to face Swerve, I don't mind that. It's more that this is how they did it. It just
yeah,
made absolutely no sense.
like coming out of Luchasaurus was really strange.
Yeah,
Like, then also, I don't mind the fact that he was in it because it makes it a bit more. It's a bit like in the Rumble, where if you had a match the previous night, you can still come
yeah,
in. Yeah, like the infamous example is Roman Reigns number 30.
yeah,
After he faced Kevin Owens earlier in the night, he came out as number 30.
yeah.
So it does make sense. It gives a bit of unpredictability for this match in the future. Also, I will just say, this stipulation I really enjoyed.
I really like this. I really like
It's
this match.
not like it's the big twist to the big difference between this and the Rumble is you can win it whenever.
It's one pinfall, and you don't need
Yeah,
everybody to come
and
in. I like that.
and you don't need everyone in. Like,
Yeah,
number one in the Rumble is a bad shout, but number one here's a great shout because you get more
yeah,
chance of win.
yeah.
I
It's a
really
one.
enjoyed.
It's
I
a
really
one-on-one
enjoyed it.
match. It's a one-on-one match until somebody comes in.
Yeah.
You can literally.
And then it
do
makes
it.
a triple threat and feel forward and whatever else.
This is real.
So I
I
really
really like that. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
but a lot of them. I do think they missed a trick not having. Obviously, they had Zach in it, and obviously Nige. But I think they missed a trick not having, like, for example, Air Force and Grado could have been in it.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think Grado coming out to like a prayer at Wembley would have been great.
Yeah.
Obviously, he came out last year and they didn't get. I think it was too.
Though
Because the decision with him last year was too quick to get like a prayer from what
I thought I thought maybe Michael Oku was coming out. Like I
yes,
thought because
something like that.
they really spoke a lot about him in the pre-show.
Yeah,
Like
that would have made sense. He's really good as
he's
well.
really good. And the boy, is it Leon? No, not Leon Slater. Who's the other boy? He's young. He's only about 19, 20. He's a star. I forget his name. He's maybe not that memorable then. But
Yeah, I think you know what you're talking about.
you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think there's already chat that he's going to TNA. All I'll say to him is avoid that like the plague. Just don't go to TNA.
For TNA, you can now. TNA, you do have that jump to Luke Jacobs. Is that what you're thinking?
Luke Jacobs, that's the one. Yeah, he's really good. He could be.
Well, the thing with TNA, you do have that jump to NXT now.
Yeah, but again, you've also got some ludicrous stuff going on there. Osprey MJF. better than the Dynamite match?
I think bell to bell, just pure in ring Dynamite was better. But with the bells and whistles, the aesthetic, stadium, the crowd, storyline, I prefer this one.
I think Ospreay's entrance might be the second best entrance of all time, and I think the best is maybe eclipsed in this
By
show
the next
by Bryan
one.
Danielson.
Aye.
Like
It did.
the whole
It was
thing
very
was the whole
sponsorship heavy, to be fair.
yeah, the whole thing was obviously to make Ospreay a star. He's just so good to watch. Like I've maybe jumped on the bandwagon of like he's been made to be this myth by Uncle Dave. He is very, very good. We do need to say that. And MJF was a perfect foil. I loved the American champion. I loved it. I genuinely see if I'm bored, I'll sit and watch old MJF heel promos because they're literally so captivating.
I watched his pipe bomb not that long ago. The
And
one where he told, this is one of the funniest things I've ever told. He called Tony Khan an effing mark.
yeah. And obviously lead straight away to the Pac stuff. MJF, I'm keen to see. Obviously, they're going to go him and Daniel at All Out. All Out has got the makings of been better than All In, by the way.
Oh, but last year it was maybe slightly better than all.
Yeah, and
Last year was really good, but
yeah.
there was kind of a lull over the company because Punk got sacked the day before.
Do you think
2 days
Ospreay
before.
eventually dethrones Danielson? Do you think that's the?
I was thinking about who dethrones Danielson. I think Nigel could be Nigel. Could be someone. Yeah, it could be Ospreay. Could
Well,
have
the
Swerve
ultimate
win
thing
it
is
back.
Ospreay's going to get the title. That's got to be the
Yeah.
end goal.
You could they announced something they didn't say. They announced Forbidden Doors in London next year.
Yeah, there's also a Tokyo Dome show at the start of middle of January.
Is there?
Yeah, it's Wrestle Dynasty, I think it's called. It's going to be like AAA, New Japan,
Oh yeah, I do remember
CMLL.
this, yeah. But like you made the great shout of it's at Craven Cottage,
Yeah,
and I can definitely see that happening.
yeah.
Craven Cottage for Craven Cottage night is it? No, it's not the worst stadium in the world.
No. It's going to be the
Like-
same weekend as All In usually is, isn't it? It's
Yeah, I think it will be.
yeah,
So,
because there was apparently a
if
rumor
it's
going about.
if it is Craven Cottage, you'll probably need to move it to middle of July.
There was a
before the
rumor
season
going about
starts
that
in.
Oasis had booked Wembley all through August. Apparently, that was the rumor. Like when they first
that
announced, like, so whether that's been right, we'll sack this for a year just to allow because Oasis. I don't care if Tony Khan's get money coming out of his bum. Oasis are
You're
getting.
not beating Oasis.
You're not being Oasis. They could sell out Wembley every single night they wanted.
Yeah.
Next match is what do you think? Mercedes Britt. I've seen it getting a lot of crap in Twitter.
I've seen Britt get a lot of crap. I've seen Mercedes get a lot of praise for carrying Britt.
I don't think it's a coincidence that they've gave Hikaru Shida to Mercedes straight after this because that to
No.
me is Tony
Sorry,
saying
but
to her,
Britt, have
I'm
this."
really sorry that you had to deal with that. Here's somebody you can get your teeth into and we'll build something else, which is maybe leading to Jamie Hayter. The thing with Britt is obviously like she's obviously been out for a while, but there's stories coming out. She's close to the Tessa Blanchard territory for me.
Yeah.
Like that's where I can see that going. And I love Tessa Blanchard. But that's what that looks like it's going down.
There's too many stories and too many people that says to me, this is a sort of a witch hunt.
Yeah.
I've seen some folks say it's a witch hunt against Britt Baker, but to me, MJF, Thunder Rosa,
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter.
Yeah. And the Jamie Hayter one's quite surprising.
Who was the person that gets sacked for sandbagging someone? Evil East.
Yeah. That's right.
Evil East is another one that Britt didn't get on with.
Yeah.
And that's 4 folk. Obviously MJF, Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter are different level stars to Evilise, but four folk four folk who don't interact at all, aren't really known to be friends with each other. They're not gonna set up this thing.
I'm going to say something controversial here. Has Mercedes been a success so far in AEW?
Don't think she's been a failure.
I've expected more. And
The
again,
initial face run was not good.
no.
Like we all said, as soon as she comes out, turn her heel.
Yeah.
Because we've known from WWE for years. Heel Sasha is so much better than face Sasha. And it's the same in AEW. Heel Mercedes with the Bucks. Dancing Okada's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
You've got Camille now, who's a
I like
great
Camille.
sort of Nash
I like
type
Camille.
figure, Kevin Nash, Diesel type figure. It just works. It works a hell of a lot better than it did at the beginning of the face nonsense. But yeah, it wasn't good this match. I've seen Mercedes get a lot of praise for carrying her. So I'll give her
This
that.
went 17 minutes.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Jesus. I think that's the after this is like fourth longest match in the card.
Yeah, and it's maybe like I really enjoyed the next match. I thought Jack Perry and Darby Allin was brilliant. I absolutely.
Apparently that went. Apparently they had to cut
It was
that.
cut. It was cut, but I think it was actually a good thing. I think for 10 minutes this was really really good. Just
Yeah.
non-stop, wild. You had the ending of this. Obviously, I thought originally it was Omega. I didn't. I was like,
No, as soon as I saw this as
I knew
second, as soon as I saw this second last, I knew Sting. I thought Sting's coming out
as soon as I heard
because he
the
was
start of
pictured
Seek
in
and Destroy.
London.
Yeah.
He was pictured in London. There was rumors of him going to be there. As soon as it went second last, I thought, yeah, Sting's coming. And then I saw the Bucks, and yeah, it Sting's. It's gonna be Sting, sure. Apparently Kenny. I didn't cross my mind of Kenny because I don't like him fly.
No,
I think he's
probably
too
not.
banged up to
Probably
fly.
not. It just came in my head. I
Especially,
was like,
I'd like cross Atlantic flight for the
Yeah.
States to London.
but obviously, I mean, let's just cut the crap. We know that Bryan Danielson is probably asked to work with Jack Perry. I don't have an
It's-
issue with it. I don't at all.
No.
Like, and again, you know where I stand on the whole thing. I don't think he needs the one thing was that glass spot. Just shut. Just move
You
on.
knew it was coming, but
Move
it
on. And
was-
the same in
it
that
was
press conference.
so
Move
obvious.
on of this, or the environment's better. Doesn't
it was
sound.
so obvious it was going to happen.
I know. It just bit.
S-
Shut. Just move on for it. It's
Yeah.
And I think Jack Perry can do very well if he just doesn't mention the words glass or CM Punk ever again. Like I
I'm
think
surprised it didn't come out of Justin Timberlake.
maybe, yeah.
That would have been funny.
Yeah,
I would have enjoyed that.
That
Speak
could
of
have
it
been
to Crimea, that'd be great.
cool. Yeah. And then we close with the storybook ending. Final countdown. Imagine being at Wembley for that. That would have been awesome.
I had mates that were there and I texted them. I was like, mate, I'm so jet.
Yeah.
I didn't know. He took a picture of himself. My mate was down there, took a picture of himself outside Wembley. And I went, mate, you're there to your final countdown. And I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Right call. Danielson.
Yeah.
There was points in the match though where you thought Swear was maybe winning. Like I thought the fact that Brian came out first was was a wee bit of a surprise.
The unit, AEW have got the thing, which is, right, champ never comes out first.
Yeah. And I like
And
that.
it's always, they've always, but I've never really understood it, but it happens all the time. And whenever it doesn't happen, folk moan, so it must be a thing. So, and I will say, I think I went into this, as soon as Danielson won the Owen, I thought Danielson would surely win the belt. And the more they progressed, the more I thought Swerve's winning, which is what made it. As soon as he got to Wembley, I thought this is unpredictable, which is the tales of a good story.
Mhm.
Also, I want to whack Flair up this. The video package.
Yeah.
The Green Day video package is one of the best. I put it on Twitter the other day, or yesterday. I still think it's up there with Monster.
Do you know what that
I don't think
song's
it's good as
called? Do you know what
Monster.
that song's actually called? And this
It's It's not called Time of Your Life.
No, it's Good Riddance.
Yeah,
Like, but it's brilliant. It's as good. It's probably as good as Monster.
it's
Because
it was a great song choice as
yeah,
well. And it's fact I know WWE do the same thing, but the fact they kind of just cut out but 10 years of his career.
yeah, it was funny. It was like, yeah, there's a lot missing here. It's as if he's been in a vortex for 10 years. But
I'm surprised they couldn't use pictures because I remember the Brody Lee tribute show. They had a big video package,
I think that would have been
and they
different
used. I know it was different, but the fact they could still use pictures of it,
though. Yeah,
and I
like
don't know. They must have got. They might have got. Don't know if they would have got permission or whatever.
I think if it's Vince, probably because I think Vince really likes Danielson. I
Yeah,
think he would maybe have authorized that. Like, because remember Jericho went on the Austin pod, and there was things. Something probably has changed there. Like,
yeah.
but yeah, right call. I thought
You
Swerve
know
played
what?
his.
Sorry, I know this is going off a bit of a run long, but do you know the story of how Jericho turned up in that pod?
No,
Vince forgot he was in AW.
the best, the
Austin
best, the best story ever
Austin went
is
to Vince and went, "Can I get Jericho? Can I have Jericho on the pod?" Vince went, "Yeah." Don't see why he wouldn't. And Austin, and then after it, Vince was apparently fuming with Austin because Austin never told him he was in AEW.
the best fan story is the Festus one. He didn't know Luke Gallows was Festus. See, when he came back with Carl Anderson, he didn't know that it was already there as Festus. Like, things like that just baffle me. But I thought Swerve was excellent. I thought just as that, not a heel, but not like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was the antagonist without being a full blown heel. I thought Swerve has been, and this is a couple of things I want to label it Tony Khan. Under no circumstances should Tony Khan ever do a signing again. That was ridiculous. And the Martha Hart
Keep
stuff,
him off telly,
God
please.
bless Martha Hart, but that wasn't needed. Like,
No, it didn't. It didn't add it. What was the point of it? Was it just you had two of those to fill? Gosh, I've done it.
I didn't get it. And the I mean, we obviously spoke about the Vince talk. The Owen Hart That Side of the Ring is one of my favourite episodes because
Yeah,
it's so well done, and Martha Hart's really good in it, but she's not good in front of a camera, like a
no,
live audience. Like,
no.
no disrespect to her at all. Like, it's so much respect for her,
Yeah,
and that's where I really like Tony Khan. Like, he clearly is taking care of her, and I
yeah.
love that. And I think he's done that. Like, he's obviously done it with Brody's family and things like that. Like, he's
And like even
clearly
small
in.
things like
Yeah,
the Sting. I've said
yeah,
this to the story about Sting.
yeah.
For folk who don't know, when Sting was getting lowered to the ring, Tony went to Martha and went, "Is this all right?" Because obviously, for my own. So that's even small stuff like that. He just seems like a good bloke.
Yeah,
Also, I want to speak about this main event. The small negative of this main event, Brie Bella could not look less arsed if she tried. Like her husband is getting beaten up in front, like right in front of her, and her wings are green, and she looked like she
that
didn't care.
I, she's not a good actor.
No,
They are not the Bellas. No harm to them. They are not good actors at all. Like, go back to the stuff with Jerry Springer, and that's they were shocking. And
I wish you died in the womb. And one of the worst deliveries of a line I've ever heard in my life.
that was Nikki though, was it not?
Yeah, it was Nikki to Brie, but just about the Bellas can act.
Like, I personally, and it probably did add to it, but I would personally have not had them at ringside. But again, you could argue the kind of big turning point in the match and the most kind of enthralling thing was the looking at the there when he's
Yeah,
getting the kicks. So yeah, it does work, but for that purpose alone, probably just have don't know if somebody else with the kid.
yeah.
Because she's not good.
I get why they had it because obviously mainstream type thing. You've had people who aren't wrestling fans who know who the Bells are
Yeah,
because of Top Bellas, Top Divas, and whatever.
I mean she did
But
an
that's
interview in the pre-show with Renee as
yeah,
well.
that wasn't great either. But
Like,
like overall, I
sure,
thought that's the only sort of small negative of the match was her acting.
I thought it was
But
really good.
yeah, do you know them in the exact same length as the Gauntlet? They both went 26
Did it?
minutes.
Yeah. Up again, I missed the ending.
Oh, I'd be fuming.
I didn't miss too much of it. I missed. Try to think. I didn't see the celebrations, and I missed maybe the last minute, and I just kind of caught up. I managed to get on a stream quickly and try and get it back, so it was fine. But overall, and again, I will, and I've said this before, if AEW do something, I will praise them to the hilt. I thought this show, barring a couple of mishaps, bad booking decisions, and allowing Chris Jericho on to continue doing what he's doing, was really good. And
Yeah.
I think All Out can be better than this. I genuinely think All Out. Let me just run through the card and tell me that this isn't going to be a top-notch show. These are the matches that are announced so far. Ospreay versus Pac will be amazing. Nightingale Statlander on a street fight. Strickland versus Page will be awesome. MJF Garcia will rule. Monet, Shida, Monet, I think will put on a show. Danielson, Perry, and there'll be more added.
Yeah.
This is going to be an excellent show.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we will have predictions later on in the week. But WWE have been busy as well. We will just say that. We had Bash at Berlin, which had 9 less matches.
Is that what?
I text you after watching this. I didn't watch this live. I was at a wedding.
I watched most of it live. I'd watched the rest of it the next day.
I think this is the best show since Mania.
I mean,
I don't think there's a bad
think-
match in here.
no, not a bad match. I thought, and the crowd, but I don't like the thing. There's a couple missteps. We'll get onto them. One of them being the strap match.
And I got 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I got 4 out of 5. I knew I kind of had a good idea that the Terror Twins were going to win, but I just thought you were going to put that, and there's no
Yeah.
point of us going for the same thing.
Nah.
And that was the only match where I kind of thought maybe the other one could win.
Yeah.
There's a couple missteps, but overall, yeah, thought it was a good. I think it's probably the same level as Glasgow.
And it was more star power in Berlin. Like,
Yeah, obviously Punk being the main one.
yeah.
Punk, Gunter, Randy, yeah, probably, yeah.
Gunter Randy's amazing. Gunter
Yeah,
Randy's
Gunter Randy was great.
so good. And, like, the story that, again, if I don't know if what Meltzer's gave it in terms of ratings, but
Don't think they're out yet. I think they'll be out tomorrow.
that's a 5-star match, because if it's based in ring work, probably not, but he can give Ospreay MJF 5 stars, and that's not 5 stars, because I think this was better, just in terms of the whole story. I think Gunter Randy
Yeah.
was awesome.
What do you think of the strap match?
I don't know.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I despise you and I will beat you and I hate you so much and I touch 4 corners to beat you. I don't get it. Like, why can you not just have the standard? I need to pin you. Like, the 4 corners added nothing. Just
It would have been better as a dog collar match, I think.
yeah. I hate like it's a blood feud that's going on with a mini game.
I mean, we're obviously bound to Hell in a Cell, which Punk probably has to win. He's already, I think him and Gunter's definitely going to be Survivor Series, so I'm good with that. But overall, wasn't that it was bad. It wasn't bad at all. It's just, as you say, it was. They had to do something gimmick-wise.
Yeah.
And
But I
this was-
don't see why can you just have a standard strap match
Yeah.
with a pin.
Yeah. But is it a way to maybe protect Drew? Maybe not give him have him
you-
pinned.
You had Punk pinned Drew. You had Drew pinned Punk, so to equal up, you should do a Punk pin Drew.
But how do you do it without, like, obviously the kind of Rollins thing, kind of protected Punk kind of thing, and it kind of rebuilds that. But I just thought overall, I kind of see why they did it.
I just
But-
think that's like, there's nothing wrong with getting pinned by a top star after a brutal strap match.
Yeah, maybe. But is it to make the Hell in a Cell blow off mean more? Because Drew can say, you haven't pinned me, you haven't that. There seems to be a plan with everything though, which makes me think that's probably what it is. Like
I
Drew,
don't know if it
because
was a sponsor thing, because obviously this was sponsored by the Batista film, which can't remember the name.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So I don't know if they just didn't want too much.
the Drew's in.
Yeah, Drew's on it.
Yeah, so maybe I didn't even
Maybe
think
that
of
was something to do with it, but again, it wasn't the killer game. It's called.
Are you ready for Cody Solo too?
No, just stick it on. Just have it be the first. Have it main event the SmackDown on USA.
Why? It just felt as if that like everybody like would have thought Cody's winning, but like to me, I would much rather see Cody against a heel Kevin Owens than Cody Solo.
Yeah,
Because we
like
know how
there's
Cody Solo 2 is going to end. Roman's going to come back whenever. Do you know what I mean? Like, apparently it's not meant for bad blood. Now, I find I'm going to be very, very surprised if Cody's not a bad blood, considering the fact it's in Atlanta. And he's
that he's on.
the,
He's
the,
all over the
and he's all over it
adverts
with
as
Lil
well.
Wayne. So
Yeah,
he's going to be in somewhere. Maybe they do him and AJ again or something. I don't know. But if it's him and Solo, I just think it's going to be quite disappointing because seen it?
yeah, and it wasn't great.
No.
It was pretty bad until the woman return. Let's be honest here.
It wasn't, and it wasn't like memorable at all. Like it was more, as you say, what Roman kind of elevated it
Yeah, I'm more
completely.
interested in Cody Jacob than Cody Solo.
They won't. Do you feed Jacob to Cody at this point though?
No, but my point is that Solo isn't. I don't hate Solo. I think he's doing what he can.
This
But my
this
issue
leads
is
to
he's doing good until the bell rings.
this leads to though that, as you say, they made him look a monster when he beat Cena, and then just completely ignored them
Aye.
until after Mania. So
He was in
everybody's
more of a position to be tribal chief.
after that.
Aye.
Yeah,
After Money in the Bank.
yeah.
Before Money in the Bank, when it was the Usos versus Roman and Solo. Solo was in more of a position to take over Roman then than he is now.
There's not many other heels in SmackDown you can really put him against.
We've
Like
got the whole Andrade Carmelo thing.
yeah, that which is so good. Like that was one of
Yeah.
my favorite matches of the week. Was Andrade Melo 4.
Yeah,
Like
it's forced to
and
each.
do you know what I really like about it is that it's basically just a rivalry about who's the better wrestler, which you don't see. Like, do you remember
It's
the old kind of best of 7 series? That like they should have done that from the start.
yeah.
Like, I love it. I genuinely, and again, it's giving
Andrade's
them
got this
something to do.
ilk. Andrade's got the ilk of having the same opponent every week, and it's not getting boring.
Yeah,
Do you remember his Ray feud? 2018, 2019?
yeah,
He just had a bunch of matches with Rey Mysterio, and they were all great, and they just kept doing it because it
yeah,
worked.
yeah,
Just keep doing that.
Yeah.
And I didn't get bored of it.
yeah. Because like he's Logan, they've done it. AJ, they've done it. Not really more I can think of off the top of my head that you can put him against in SmackDown. Like
Call
Escobar,
up, there's not much to call up. Ethan Page is a champ.
Escobar isn't really able to do that.
No.
You mentioned Theory and
SmackDown's
Waller,
low on top heels. It really
yeah,
is.
which is maybe why I would do the KO turn.
Maybe.
Like nothing really else. And Gunter Orton stole the I thought was excellent. Bianca and Jade, they deserve to win. But just in terms of the crowd, like I genuinely think, like I really hope, like there's so many places in Europe they can still go that they can go to Italy, like
Well, even outside of Europe, let's talk Mexico.
yeah, like
Mexico would be great.
Mexico, Japan, like something like that. Like, do you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
so much like these international. It's gonna quiet down now. I think we've got Bad Blood, and then Survivor Series, and that's
Crown
it.
Jewel.
Crown Jewel. So yeah, good.
Is there not
Again,
a December one?
no, I don't think so. Because Survivor, it's always Survivor Series, and it's an humble. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna.
They took December off last year. I remember that.
They haven't had a December one since the last TLC, whenever that was.
Is that No, I wouldn't.
Let me
No,
tell you
him as well.
exactly. TLC. Let me just tell you. So the last TLC pay-per-view was in 2019.
No, because you had KO Roman 2020.
That wasn't December though. Oh no, it was, sorry, you're right, yeah, 2020 was the Thunderdome one, yeah, you're right, sorry. Because then they went to day one, because that was the whole
Yes.
thing. It was day one, and I don't think they went back to December after that, and day one just didn't work at all.
No, that was the
That was the Roman
That's-
COVID.
yeah, that's the butterfly effect. That one.
That was, yeah, definitely. But
Because am I right in saying Brock was meant to beat Roman that show?
I don't know if he was meant to beat Roman, but it was
I think I vaguely remember reading
because
that. somewhere.
that I'm sure I've seen an interview where Heyman was, that was when they were meant to do the Heyman turn. It was not going to be the Rumble. That's when they were going to do the Heyman turn.
I can't. I think and Seth was meant to beat Big E in that 4-way.
Maybe because
Seth was meant to win the 4-way, and obviously then Brock won it. And I vaguely remember reading Brock was meant to beat Roman
maybe
on day one, which is why everyone's saying that's a big butterfly effect. So obviously we wouldn't have this
we wouldn't have that
4
story
year
run.
long.
No, I really enjoy these international pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Like, they're excellent. Like
you can have a B level card that gets elevated. You can have
and
a
the
good show
five
elevated
the
to a great
five
show.
match thing is brilliant because it gives more time. Like, look at these match times. Like in a fight, like obviously, like we spoke about All In. 12 minutes Bianca and Jade, 19 minutes a strap match, 15 minutes Priest and Ripley, and then Gunther was 34, Cody and KO was 23.
Yeah.
Like plenty of time. We haven't mentioned the mixed tag.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
I really enjoyed it. And
I love it. I see a mixed tag that gets given time and is a bit of fun, bit of story. They're all great.
yeah.
Like one of the best mixed tags I've ever seen. Triple H and Steph versus Kurt and Ronda at 34.
Yeah.
Like that was
Yeah.
just a lot of fun. That was a lot better than it should have been.
Yeah.
And this, where again, was great. I will say, like, we are teasing the Riptide again on Dom. I think they could have just hit it then.
When do you do it? Do you do it at Bad Blood?
But the Bad Blood looks like it's going to be. I think Bad Blood have been Priest and Finn.
Yeah, maybe. No, I mean, like,
And I don't think if
do you have
it's a
Dom
5-match
as like?
card, you can't have 2 matches from the same story. You need to spread that
I
out.
think Bad Blood will be more I think Bad Blood will not be a 5-match card.
I think it'll be 5. The only ones that aren't 5 are Mania and SummerSlam, really. Because Rumble's 5 matches. You're going to get 2 Rumbles there. Survivor Series with 2 War Games. I wonder what you do with the women's War Games. Because they haven't really started building anything.
And
Do you
SmackDown,
do?
you don't have enough in SmackDown.
No, but SmackDown's a bloodline. So it'll be a Raw one.
Yeah, it's going to be like Pure Fusion against. It's going to be something like that, innit?
Do you have Pure Fusion with Liv? It'll be
Yeah.
5v5
But
probably.
apparently, there's a rumor going out that Natalia's going to be part of.
Natalia's back next week. I read
Yeah,
that somewhere.
apparently she's joining Pure Fusion. Apparently, I saw that.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's not Pure Fusion's not good at the moment.
No, and Damage
Yeah,
Control.
Pure Fusion versus Damage Control.
Is it enough to be a War Games match?
Is Asuka fit? When's Asuka fit?
I don't know.
She's
But
done an
apparently
ACL.
she's signed a new deal.
Yeah, I saw that, which is good. But again, you've got what Dakota, who's still injured. Jesus.
Yeah,
Kyrie, Io. You probably shove Rhea in there. You probably want to keep Rhea in. You probably want to put Rhea in 11 War Games. Then each team needs another 1. You could probably make a call up. Maybe a Sol Ruka, maybe a
you bring
Roxanne.
back Becky.
Maybe if you can get Becky and Charlotte
Yeah.
as well. Although apparently Charlotte's going to SmackDown because I think I read this. It's going to be Charlotte and Tiffany at Mania.
Sign me up.
I thought you'd like that.
Aye, exactly. And I called it. I didn't call it for Mania.
Oh, you
I called
did.
it.
You did
I
call
called.
it.
Like again, makes sense, and it has to be face tiff against heel Charlotte because you pointed out Mercedes. I don't want to ever see Charlotte Flair as a babyface.
No, please
Like,
don't.
she's
It's
terrible at it. Like, not
yeah,
like she's
like
just
a
not.
promo. She sounds like she's
Yeah.
like underwater. She's
Yeah.
got.
You
I
mentioned then
still think you're still. I still think you could stick it with manager. Like
yeah, not Rick.
no, God, please not Rick. God,
Who else
I
though?
think
Who else?
I still.
JBL seems to be floating about as a manager. Put
He's
him.
in TNA Triple
What's
A.
that all about?
I did see someone. I actually think Ulsfa, she's doing very good in the role at the moment. But I think Ava would make a great manager.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I also think one of the biggest releases that they made massive was getting rid of Ben Malcolm Bivens now Stokely Hathaway.
Yeah.
Like, why did they get rid of him? That was one of the weird.
Was that Vince?
Yeah, that was Vince. That was
Yeah.
when.
Because
That was the same time Regal left.
That was Diamond Mine, wasn't it? That was right. Because
Yeah.
I really liked the look of that. Like,
Who was it? Who was it? Roddy was in it.
yeah,
Ivy Nile was in
the
it.
Creed brothers and Damon Kemp, maybe.
God, that's a shout. I think it was him.
Yeah, because then they had, I forget the guy's name. Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, you know what I'm talking
But
about.
yeah, because everyone was speaking on Regal, obviously Regal getting sacked is brutal because he's won Regal. But I think Stokely Hathaway gets sacked at the same time.
Yeah.
And people didn't really think of that. They all thought, oh no, Regal's away.
Let's get into NXT while we're kind of talking about Diamond Mine because we had No Mercy not long after that, and I really thought another brilliant show. Takeaways for No Mercy, what would you say? Julia's
Julia's a star.
That confirms to me that Vince is gone because that reminds me of old NXT debuts. That would just put me back to 2018 where Joe debuted. Who else you have? You'd obviously Bobby
Cole.
Roode. Like so many good debuts.
Cole came in and beat up the champ.
Cole. Even like Asuka as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Some phenomenal debuts, and it's up there for me because in CW, the first show in CW is going to be unbelievable, and Julia is
the
winning.
first show in CW the St. Louis one? Because I can't remember the order. I think Chicago's second. I think it's St. Louis with Randy Orton first episode, and then it's Chicago with Punk.
Could be whatever's the first one.
I think Chicago's the 8th because that's the one up against Dynamite, and Punk on a show up against Dynamite makes far too much sense for it not to happen. That's one of the first things I said when Punk returned.
That's where I really hope Dave Meltzer is sweating buckets because he is in for a rude awakening unlike you've ever seen. Because
last year was brutal. Do you remember last year's where NXT went Cena, Taker, Asuka, Cody? That was just an example of WWE's content, but up against AEW.
And Meltzer obsesses over the wee kind of minuscule ratings of the 1849. Wait till you see what it's going to be like that night.
I think it was 900k, 600k. I think it was last year, and I think it probably no far off that this year.
Yeah, it'll be up there. But
yeah,
NXT overall, really another really good show. We don't get a bad NXT live event, do we?
No.
Like we don't.
I will say, I've said this before. I feel bad, but it's still not takeover to me, and I don't think it will ever be takeover because you look at some of the best takeovers, some of the best shows we've ever seen. New Orleans, New York, Chicago. These shows are some of the best matches, some of the best stories, some of the best events we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And this, it's not as good as Deadline. What was the last one?
Heatwave.
Heatwave. Heatwave was a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
That was on the 4-way in the main event.
Yeah.
That was a great show. I'm going to ask you a question that I think I'm going to know the answer to. Joe Hendry.
Yeah. I thought he was winning. I thought it'd have been I thought they would have pulled the trigger on him, but I'm glad they didn't. He's going to die off.
I think he will as well.
Of
I
course he
think
is.
he
Of
already
course he is.
starting to die off.
It's good at first. Do you know what I mean? It was.
I said he's LA Knight in a kilt.
Yeah, but LA Knight's a better worker. Joe Henry's not the best worker.
No, he
Joe
never.
Henry says it.
I remember I watched.
Watch that match. It's not great.
No.
I love Ethan Page, but it's not great to be
My
honest.
introduction to Joe Hendry was probably like a lot of folk was WCPW.
I kind of knew him from ICW, and he did.
And he was the main event guy in WCPW as well.
But
Like it was him, Joseph Connors, and then obviously
that's not a
they
coincidence though, because
spunked
that
a
was
lot of money
more,
up the wall.
that was more. And Joe, one thing he will do is he will get a YouTube view.
Yeah.
Like
I still watched the pop of that debut in that battle royal. Unbelievable pop.
and it was good, but he's not. He's not a guy that he's not going to be like. He's not that. He's not like
No.
Ethan Page. Even the track stuff. I thought the ending of this, the main event was pretty chaotic.
Yeah, why
too
is
much.
the second referee just being there?
And why is Pete Dunne not? Is nobody questioning what Pete Dunne? Is Pete Dunne not busy with track and then get Sheamus? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you then? You're picking a fight with Sheamus. See, I'm going to pick a fight with Trick as well. Like, it just
Yeah,
makes
they're
no
not even
sense.
overlapping. It's just
No, it
like
doesn't make
Trick isn't
sense.
turning up on Raw to beat up Pete Dunne. Sheamus isn't going to NXT.
No,
So they're kind of just two separate views. It's as if it's separate people. It's really strange.
you obviously really like Roxanne. The best match of the night was the women's match,
Yeah.
hands down.
Tag match. I thought Axiom.
Tag match was good, yeah. Did you see what
But yeah,
Meltzer said about Nathan
Roxanne
Fraser?
Yeah, Roxanne's a star. She's only
Yeah.
what? I think
20.
she's what 21, 22.
Yeah, 22.
She's 22.
Yeah.
And she's I know she's like really small, obviously, but she's got like the word aura is overused to the high heavens.
Yeah.
But she's got an aura about her for
Yeah.
being that height. And she's a really good worker for someone who's 21.
What she's good at as well is that a lot of facial expressions and things like that, like just wee things like that. And like Julia's going to come in, Julia's going to take the belt off her, she can go. We're talking about maybe SmackDown not having enough talent.
You could put her in that War Games match we were talking about.
Yeah, and
Easily.
don't turn the babyface yet. You've still obviously got Cora as well. Like Nikita's coming back. That division is stacked.
Yeah.
Just when
You
everybody's
get
stacked.
Stephanie come in, Delta to come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And you've
the
got
women's division actually really healthy at the moment.
and look at the kind of Kalani's coming up as well. Like I think Tatum Paxley's really good. I really like this new group. They've got the heel group with Fallon and JC Jane. I think that could be
Yeah,
quite good.
I like the story about it. It's like anti NIL type.
Yeah.
Like I quite
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
But then you've got the other women's match that was on the card.
What do you think of that?
Wendy Chu isn't it? Wendy Chu isn't for me.
I like Kalani as though.
Kalani is, but Wendy Chu definitely isn't. Like
I did
the
feel for
spooky thing is-
Kalani.
Yeah, so did I. But Wendy Chu, I don't get it. Like,
And you can see though as well.
She's kind of the last remaining dregs of 2.0.
And the thing you can see with Kalani as well is that she's getting better every match she has.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
what I
that's
like as
another one who's really young.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who I think could be a superstar, and tell me who's taking the belt off Obafemi.
I was about to say Obafemi's a
He's
what
phenomenal.
a guy.
Like,
Just give him everything. You know that meme of Triple H just holding all the belts?
yeah,
I should be Obafemi.
he's
Like,
going to
Obafemi
be.
versus Braun Breaker. Give me that. 14.
Think of 5 years time though. Like you're going to have Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, Obafemi,
Carmelo Hayes.
Hayes, Trick. I mean, the main event scene
Yeah.
is going to be
Nathan Fraser. We'll get onto the time match, but Nathan Fraser and Axiom will be up there.
Did you obviously? I also said as well. Meltzer said that Nathan Fraser's the best worker in WWE.
He says he's the best
NXT,
outside
sorry,
the top guys.
NXT.
Yeah.
You're right. He's right.
Yeah,
He's a
Gaza.
step ahead.
Yeah,
Like, but he's perfect in that role right now with the tag. Just him and Axiom, I think, is pretty good.
yeah. I
Like,
remember when NXT UK
I thought the
shut
booking to the
down.
tag match was terrible, by the way. Like, I thought the heel turn, which they teased so many times, the event, just don't make it obvious that you're going to turn them heel.
Yeah,
Like,
basically said, I'm going to turn heel on you.
and then Thea Hale with that stupid, like, she's rubbish. She's not rubbish as a worker. Do something with her that isn't what she's doing just now, because you've tried. They've obviously did they try her as a heel with JC Jane? It didn't really work, but there's a reason they tried something else, is because she was annoying, and
Yeah.
she's workable in the ring, but in terms of her character, just get her away from Chase U, please.
Yeah. I don't Chase you. Have you seen the meme of Julia? Has a Chase you hoodie on?
No.
Yeah, it's like it seems that this meme that whenever that NXT sign a big star, they're going to chase you. It was the meme Okada for a bit. Right, Okada was rumored to go to NXT,
Yeah.
and then it was quickly shut down. But yeah, imagine if based on his AEW work, Okada would get ready to chase you.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. But overall, again, we've had 3 really good shows in the space of a week, and we're going to get another one. But
Yeah,
Scott, we need a rest.
God, we don't have. How long
We
going?
need,
That's 1 hour and a half.
yeah, we need a rest from wrestling. We will do an all-out show next week, and we will the first part of a WrestleMania review that we recorded a couple of weeks ago will go out next week. That's still to go out. Then we'll do part 2, and then we'll have a wee bit of a breather until Bad Blood, because it's been very busy. But
Yeah,
overall, I think we've covered it well. We've got another pod to do after this, but
God.
yeah, I mean, really, really good couple of weeks for wrestling in terms of, and that's the thing as well. 3 very different shows.
Yeah, it's not as if it's been overloaded the same stuff. You had
No.
a big stay, you had a big spectacular, aesthetically pleasing stadium show. You had a sort of smaller in-house European crowd show, and then you had NXT, which was again sort of similar, which is just a bunch of good young stars
Yeah.
putting on good matches and just putting on good shows. So wrestling's a good place at the moment.
It is, yeah. And we will be back next week. We'll do an all-out review, and Pandemic will be out as well, so stay tuned for that. Scott, always a pleasure, mate. I will see you in a couple of minutes.
Aye.
Good man. Thank you, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Dreamed